Now let's go ahead and add an adjustment layer. I'm going to go and select Flower 2, the layer Flower 2. Now I'm going to go to my Adjustments panel, and I'm going to click Hue and Saturation. Where are you? There we go, this one. You'll see my property box open, and I want you to go ahead and click here and enter a value of 43 for the hue, 19 for the saturation, and leave the lightness at 0. Now at this point you're probably thinking, that looks horrible. It's okay, because we are going to create a clipping mask. To create a clipping mask, go back to your layers, and on this icon right here, right click, and go ahead and select, that didn't work, hold on, I'm going to click off of it, right click on this right here, and I'm not seeing the option that I want. Okay, I found it. I apologize. Right click over here in this area, and you're going to go to Create Clipping Mask. Create Clipping Mask. So, with this layer highlighted, right click on it, Create Clipping Mask. You'll notice that this arrow is pointing down. It means that it's only affecting this right here. You'll learn more about clipping masks in the future, but just know that a mask is limiting what the effect applies to. So, because this is right above the flower and the arrow is pointing to it, because we have arranged our layers that way, it will only affect this flower. Let's go ahead and rename this hue and saturation to, what's it say in the book? I forget. Well, hue and saturation is fine, but I'm probably going to name it Flower 2 right after it, just so that way I know that this hue and saturation is only affecting Flower 2. So we're going to go ahead and hide this real quick, so that way you can see what's happening to this flower down here. And I'm actually going to hide Hawaii. And yeah. So when I activate it, it makes it more bright and vivid. When I activate it, it's all bright and vivid. Dull, bright and vivid. Alright. More about that in lessons to come. But that's just a pretty cool way to add an adjustment layer and get it to select and affect an isolated area is with a clipping mask. If you're reading along with the packet that I provided for you or the chapter that I've posted on Schoology, we're kind of skipped the updating layer effects. What that's talking about is if I go to my text layer that has the styles, I can change this and the layer styles will still be applied to it. That's all that that's talking about right there. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Hawaii back. And I just realized that my postage has been hidden. I'm going to go ahead and select the postage layer. And clicking the move tool, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just move it down a little bit. And now I'm going to create a new layer over all my other layers. So making sure that the top layer, which should be postage, is selected. I'm going to click the new layer icon. And I'm going to name this border. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a border selection to create a border for my entire composition here. To do this, I'm going to go up to Select and I'm going to click All. Also, the hotkey is Control A. Or on our computers, no, it's Control A. Now I want to modify this selection. I can do so by going back up to Select and going down to Modify. I'm going to go ahead and click Border. Now it gives me the ability to choose a width for my border. I'm going to go ahead and type in 10 pixels and press OK. Now I'm going to go down and I'm going to change my color, my foreground color, to white. Press OK. Then I'm going to go to Edit and I'm going to click Fill. Right here it gives me some options. I'm going to tell it that I want my foreground color in the contents. That's the color we just chose, it's white. And everything else I think I'm going to leave the same. But do know that you can change up blending mode here. Just like you can change the blending mode right here on your layers. I'm going to go ahead and press OK. And voila! I have a nice thin border around my entire comp. To deselect the border, you can go up to Select and deselect or press Ctrl D. At this point, you need to go to File and save your work, or save as if you need to create a better naming convention and put it on your desktop. Now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this whole composition right here. To do that, we're going to go to Image and Duplicate. Right here, you will create a new naming convention. We're going to flatten our layers, so we're just going to name this Flatten. Now we're going to press OK. And now we have all of these layers in a new comp. See? It's even named Flatten. And here's my old comp. In our new composition, make sure this one's highlighted. You're going to click the layer border, drag down to the last layer, press Shift and click that last layer. Now you will right-click in the highlighted area and select Flatten Image. Now all of our work is on one layer, and we can no longer individually edit certain areas. Go ahead and rename this layer. I'm going to name it Postcard. The reason why it's a good idea to flatten images when you're done is because it decreases the file size. Alright? So when you turn this in, you can just turn in this, but I expect to see all of this done. Okay? Oh, I moved my postcard. There we go. So at this time, please File, Save As, make sure that Save to the desktop, and Save. Please make sure that you upload both of these files under a folder called Chapter 4, and that you have good naming conventions. Make sure that you save both files, because if I have a question about your file, I might ask you to open it. Actually, you know what? Why don't you upload both of these files? Both of them, please. And you can upload them to the submission area that is under Book Projects, Book Project 4, Book Project 4 Layer Basics, and you can go right here to submit. Should look something like this. Wait for it. Wait for it. Shabam.